Saturday Night Football in the Big 12 on championship weekend. Presented by Windows. Texas and Kansas State set to have at it. Before we kick, we check in third member of our team, Holly Rowe.
Well, Brad, it's an incredible scene down here, and everything you see down here is built on Bill Snyder's 16 goals for success. Tonight, they'll have to lean heavily on number 11. Don't accept losing. They are trying to rebound after their first loss of the season 2 weeks ago to Baylor. Coach Snyder told us Friday that he thought his team looked a little bit tired. So after the game, they had a bye week. He gave his team Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. I spoke to some of the players on the field, and they say it was a big deal. The teams were able to go home, refocus with their families, and come back in dialed up.
They won the toss, but deferred, so the kickoff goes to Texas, and they'll come out to the 25-yard line. And with that, we've talked about it pretty much all week. Case McCoy takes over the reins as a starting quarterback. Having some final words there with offensive coordinator Brian Harsin.
You know, Case McCoy, the good news for Texas, he hasn't started a game this season, but he did start some games on the road last year, played very well on the road, and Mac Brown reminded us, you know, he went into Texas A&M last year, late in the year, took care of the football. We were able to win the game. That's what they're counting on him doing tonight.
Jonathan Gray is behind him. Both tight ends, McFarland and Daniels, on the move. They fake the fly sweep, and it's Gray for about a yard, and that's just about it. Darrell Childs made the stop as we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Avis. Mike Davis wearing number 5 tonight. He's the big play receiver, 17.5 yards a catch. Jonathan Gray, the freshman, they'll lean on him heavily in the backfield. Kenny Vaccaro, the number 2 tackler in the defensive secondary for the Longhorns.
Right away, we see a little up-tempo from Texas, taking a page out of the Baylor playbook from 2 weeks ago.
Toss sweep, and Gray's not going anywhere. Kansas State rises up to make the stop. Adam Davis stretched it out, and it'll be third down and long on the opening drive for Texas.
Now Arthur Brown, the heart and soul of the defense of this football team. We talk about Colin Klein being the leader of the offense. Arthur Brown is the same kind of leader on the defense, and he made a nice play there on second down. Third and long, what you want to avoid against this Kansas State defense. That's when they're at their best.
McCoy in the shotgun. Malcolm Brown is there with him. McCoy's first throw down the middle is batted down the middle. Ryan Mueller knocked it down, and it's 3 and out Texas.
Nice play by Mueller because he had a man open. Mike Davis was open on a hook route. It would have been a first down, and Mueller timed his jump, got that left hand on the football. Otherwise, the drive would have been extended for Texas.
Alex King to punt, and look out on the other end. Tremaine Thompson averages 25 yards a punt return. He's going to have to fair catch this one right around the 30-yard line. So that brings out Colin Klein. Sensational numbers all year long until the hiccup a couple of weeks ago in Waco. We'll see if that was indeed a hiccup.
Well, I expected it was. You know, the problem was they weren't able to control the line of scrimmage against Baylor and establish their run. And that's what they live off of. And Colin Klein ended up throwing the ball 50 times in that game. That's not Kansas State's MO. They want to run the ball first and set up their play-action pass.
John Hubert is behind him on first down from the 30, and he'll get the call. And Hubert spins his way out for 5, almost 6-yard line. As we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Avis. Tyler Lockett back. He didn't play in that game a couple of weeks ago, and he makes an impact as a return man and a receiver. Chris Harper, big body, knows how to use it as a wideout. Nigel Malone, one of the top guys, 4 interceptions in the secondary tonight, and he'll have a beat on Case McCoy throughout the night when he puts the ball in the air. Second down and 5 with Klein in the shotgun.
Typically, if number 37 is in the ball game, just follow him. The ball's going behind him.
Braden Wilson, and that's where it goes, and that's where Klein goes. And he's going to be close to, if not at, the first down marker. Going to be half-yard shy.
Wilson is a senior, one of the 27 seniors on this team. Nice lead blocker, 6'4", 256, kind of lines up as a fullback sometimes as a tight end or H-back.
2 tight ends in there right now, and Wilson stays in as well. But an eye backfield on 3rd down and 1. And they'll give it to the fullback. And he stuffed. Second effort trying to get back, but he only got back to the line of scrimmage. And Peter Jenkins, the outside linebacker, the freshman, makes a great stop.
Peter Jenkins, one of the young linebackers. Boy, they were crowded at the line of scrimmage. They were anticipating run the whole way. Jenkins was right off the line of scrimmage, anticipated the snap count, and got into the backfield to get Wilson.
So that brings out Ryan Dorr to kick. Back-to-back punts. Quandre Diggs stands back on the other end around the 20-yard line for the Longhorns. Dorr high kick. Diggs comes up, makes the catch at around the 24-yard line. 37-yard punt, no return. When we return, Case McCoy, his second effort, coming back out at quarterback for the Longhorns. Aerial coverage here in Manhattan being provided by the MetLife Blimp. See how MetLife can provide the coverage you need. MetLife, I can do this. No score, second possession for the Longhorns. Case McCoy at the controls. Joe Bergeron in along with Robertson, the fullback. He's going to throw, though. The out is intercepted. Pick 6 coming. Nigel Malone, touchdown. Did we mention Nigel Malone was an impact player? 28-yard touchdown.
Nigel Malone was reading the quarterback's eyes the entire time. And Case McCoy has an accurate arm, but not a particularly strong arm. And that ball was in the air too long to be successful.
Anthony Cantelli in for the point after.
Previous play is under further review. Rolling on the field was touchdown.
Well, he walked into the end zone, but did he take the ball with him the whole time? I think that's maybe what they're looking at. We'll take another look at it right here. Ooh. I think he's across the goal line. But they'll have a look.
Yeah.
It is a scoring play, and it is a turnover.
Did the ball cross the plane?
Ball's in his right hand. Looks like his body had crossed the plane. I think it had, but we'll see. It was close, really close.
And I'm sure what Bill Snyder's going to tell him is that shouldn't ever be close. Run all the way in and hand the ball to the official, and then come and celebrate on the sideline.
There was one of those in the NFL about a month ago, and it was upheld, but after they looked at it later, they realized it was too late to do anything about it, and the guy that intercepted the ball did not take it all the way to the end zone. First time in a couple of years that Kansas State's had a interception return for a touchdown.
Well, the problem for Texas when they have struggled this year has been turnovers.
Right.
They had 4 turnovers against TCU in their last ball game, and an early turnover here that also goes for a score, we think.
Ooh. I tell you what, every
That's
time
very
you get
close.
a different angle, it looks a little bit different, doesn't it? So Tom Robinson, who's right next to us, as a matter of fact, the replay booth's right next to us.
This was a new rule a few years ago, and they talked about, was this going to be a problem? How much was it going to come up? And it hasn't come up very much. But we might have a ruling here that disappoints this home crowd quite a bit.
You know, from that angle, it doesn't look like it made it, or it doesn't look like the ball made it, does it?
Because I believe if they overturn this, the ball will belong to Texas on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to be a touchback. So Scott Novak's our referee. We mentioned Tom Robinson's our replay official. Tom was in our trucks before the game. We said hello, and literally they are 12 feet away from us in the booth next door. This one takes a while because it means a lot. Not that they all don't, but now the fans are getting restless. Case McCoy, it would be his second interception that he's thrown this year in limited duty. He's smiling right now because he's hoping that maybe the Longhorns get a break here. And he's over there on the sideline with David Ash, who started the majority of the time this year for Texas.
David Ash had a rib injury in the TCU game and was replaced by McCoy, and they weren't sure if David Ash was even going to be healthy to play this week, so they named McCoy the starter early in the process. As it turned out, Ash got healthy, was able to practice, and is available to play tonight should something happen to Case McCoy.
Well, this one's taken longer than it took for you to eat breakfast, partner, as I watched you.
I would think the length that it's taking would suggest that they're going to overturn this.
If indeed it stands, it's the 5th interception of the year by Malone. It'll be an interception either way, but we'll know if it's a touchdown or not. Touchdown, touchback, big difference. And finally, here's the call.
After review, the runner intercepted the ball and was running towards the goal line. Before he broke the plane of the goal line, he let the ball go. We gave a signal of touchdown on the field, which by rule is an inadvertent signal. By rule, we must put the ball back at the half-yard line. Kansas State will have the ball at the half-yard line, 1st and goal.
All right, well, that one shocked me. So they have the ball at the half-yard line.
And the way that he explained that was the reason that they had to put it on the half-yard line instead of a touchback and on the 20 for Texas is that there was an inadvertent signal of a touchdown.
Mack Brown wants a longer explanation. I don't think he's going to get one.
Because nobody picked up the football. Nobody went and recovered the ball. Nobody did anything with the ball. And Mack Brown wants a clear explanation.
Mack is livid on the sideline. And so Kansas State has got it after the interception. 1st and goal right there. And this is usually Colin Klein time.
What a strange turn of events early in this ball game.
I guess. Klein's got 15 rushing touchdowns this year. He's got 16 rushing touchdowns this year. Well, puts it in the end zone again from a yard out. So it only took one play after the interception and the return. And Cantelli in for the point after. I may have said Colin Klein had 20 rushing touchdowns, or rather 15 rushing touchdowns. That was number 21 on the year. First it was Nigel Malone, who dropped it at the 1. Mack Brown not getting the explanation that he wanted. And then here's rushing touchdown number 21 for Colin Klein. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 from Manhattan, Kansas, as the 18th ranked Texas Longhorns take on the number 6 Wildcats of Kansas State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 here in Manhattan, Kansas, where our aerial coverage is provided by the MetLife Blimp. See how MetLife can provide the coverage you need. MetLife, I can do this. Snoopy's got a good look at a 7-0 lead for the Wildcats as we enter the 2nd quarter. Brett Nessler, Todd Blackledge, and Holly Rowe along with you.
Kansas State with 87 yards in that 1st quarter, only 121 against Texas last year in the entire ball game. So a much more productive start offensively, and Colin Klein has been pretty hot.
1st and 10 at the Longhorn 22 to open the quarter, and the throw is incomplete. Quandre Diggs covering on Chris Harper, who got a hand on it. That was it.
Well, Harper again had the inside position, but the ball was thrown too high, and he wasn't able to use that big body because the ball was over his head.
So far, we haven't seen one aimed at Tyler Lockett. And nursing a little bit of an injury. He's in the slot right now to the top of your screen on 2nd down and 10. Klein has a look to the sideline. And now backpedals into a pistol set with Pease behind it. And on the option, he'll keep it. Nice cut to the inside. They get inside the 20. Down around the 17 as his wife Shaylin looks on. Basketball player here at Kansas State, daughter of a good friend of yours.
Yep, Gary Spaney was a great player here, linebacker, All-American here at Kansas State, played for the Chiefs. Talked to Shaylin today. She's just like a player. She said, this night game's killing me. I've just been going crazy all day. I'm fine once the game starts. It's what leads up to the game that drives me nuts.
3rd down and 5. Klein, plenty of time, goes to the end zone, intercepted in the end zone by Adrian Phillips. And he wanted to let that one go a little bit sooner, I think.
Well, he got caught looking at the one side of the formation only. He was looking to his right the whole way. Watch, Collins' eyes are going to be here the whole time. He's not going to see the coverage from the backside. Step underneath it.
He was aiming it for Lockett, and he didn't get enough on it either.
Yep, Phillips undercut it, played the ball nicely.
Phillips' 2nd interception of the season. Had one against TCU in the loss on Thanksgiving night, and now he's got one here tonight on the road.
I think what Colin was signaling right there is I didn't throw it high enough. If I give him a chance and throw it deeper to the end zone, maybe Lockett makes the play.
So now McCoy in the shotgun. And it's a fly sweep on the way around. Deshae Johnson. Johnson down the sideline. Can anybody catch him? And the answer's no. Touchdown, Texas. Or did he step out?
I think they're saying he stepped out right around the 10-yard line.
Deshae Johnson, a freshman, goes 70 yards to the 10.
Beautiful call by Brian Harsin right after the turnover. I mentioned in the beginning, Texas is Texas, and they have speed you have to account for. And this time, Kansas State very lucky that he stepped out of bounds, or this ball game would have been tied.
Right about there with the heel, and just barely. 1st and goal, Longhorns at the Kansas State 10-yard line. Jonathan Gray, he's belted in the backfield, a loss of a yard by Meshach Williams. Texas and Mack Brown know right now you got to take every opportunity when you've got a chance like this to make them pay and get a touchdown.
Well, and the problem for Texas recently, they've not been as effective in the red zone as they were earlier. This is their 12th red zone opportunity recently, and they've only had 4 touchdowns in their last 12 opportunities. So a touchdown here is critical.
Jonathan Gray and the Wildcat. High snap, and he gets it to Shipley. And Shipley trying to cut it outside. Got a long way to go and no time to get there. Only got back to the 10, the original line of scrimmage. Well, trying to draw up a little dipsy-do there, and it didn't work for him.
Yep. Well, they had 2 plays from the 10-yard line and gained nothing. And it's 3rd down, and there's no harder 3rd down than right here. 3rd down and goal from the 10. You're playing against a short field, so the defense doesn't have to play depth. Very, very difficult to convert this play.
This would be a huge stop for Kansas State's defense if they could just force a field goal. And Mack Brown wants to talk it over. Timeout, Texas.
Timeout, Texas.
Big 3rd and goal here early in the 2nd quarter. Upcoming, Kansas State by 7. Texas trying to take advantage of that long run by Johnson. 3rd and goal at the 10-yard line.
Keep an eye on M.J. McFarland. He's a big tight end up here in the slot. 6'5", big target.
McCoy running out of time. That's the last thing you want to have happen, and there might be a holding call on top of it.
Holding, offense number 75. Penalties decline.
They decline the penalty and take the sack, which is a 10-yard loss. So now the line of scrimmage is at 20, and they bring out the field goal unit.
I think he was looking for McFarland, and had he had a little bit more time, he might have had a shot for the touchdown, but the pocket collapsed on him.
Nick Jordan will try a 37-yard field goal. As you saw, his longest this year, 38 yards.
He did not look too strong in pregame.
He's looking pretty good on that one.
Good.
37-yard kick is good. But a wasted opportunity. Long run by Johnson got him down to the 10-yard line. First and goal became 4th and goal at the 20, and they have to settle for 3. 12 minutes remaining in the half. When we come back, guess what's back? Taste of the town, my man. That looks good. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 from Manhattan, Kansas, as the 18th-ranked Texas Longhorns take on the number 6 Wildcats of Kansas State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action. Let's take a look at our Pacific Live game summary with 10:33 remaining in the half. Texas minus yardage on the ground right now. And if you look at that 125 yards passing and say, where did all that come from? That little toss from Case McCoy to DJ Johnson was ruled a pass, not a run, that got him down to the 10-yard line. First down, Texas at its own 28. Play action for McCoy. Running out of time. Down he goes. And it's Justin Tuggle.
Really nice effort by Tuggle, not giving up on the play. Excellent coverage downfield because McCoy initially had enough time, tried to leave the pocket, and Tuggle was being blocked but didn't give up on the play and got the sack. Texas has to do a better job on first down to stay out of long yardage third down situations. It's too difficult against this team here in Manhattan to do that.
2nd and 16. They fake it to Gray, bootleg for McCoy. He completes it, but it's just going to be a short gain of 2 or 3 to DJ Johnson.
One of the things that this Kansas State defense has done an excellent job of all season is tackling. They have the fewest number of tackles missed in the Big 12. You catch the ball in front of them and they make sure you get on the ground. And now this is the 6th third down situation for Texas, and 5 of the 6 have been 10 yards or more.
McCoy 10 for 10, starting 0 for 2, but he's going to have to come up with a big one here to pick up a third down. 3rd and 13, and he throws deep middle, and he got it to Shipley. And on 3rd and 13, big play down the middle to Jackson Shipley.
Well, this is kind of surprising that Shipley got turned loose. It wasn't a straight zone or a deep drop zone coverage, but Shipley turned his man around in there. A linebacker, Gerald Childs, and a big completion for the first down.
Pickup of 18. Here's the handoff to Brown, and Malcolm Brown into the secondary. Brown all the way down to the 30. Dante Barnett brought him down, or it would have been a Texas touchdown.
Little counter play out of the I formation. They pull a lineman, they pull the fullback, and Malcolm Brown, who has missed 5 games with a high ankle sprain, gets a big carry in his first game back.
Texas at the 29-yard line of Kansas State with a first down, trailing by only 4 with 8.5 to go in the half. Play fake, toss out, Johnson. Johnson got a little crease, and he picks up about 6 on the play.
Again, that's out of the Baylor playbook. Throw it quick. If he breaks one tackle, he turns a 3-yard pass into a 7-yard gain, and you've got a good second down situation.
2nd down and 4. Texas looking pretty sharp.
Yep.
Empty backfield right now. The tight end Greg Daniels switches sides, and now Jonathan Gray comes back behind McCoy. And he's going to get the carry. Following his blockers to the left side. He's got a first down inside the 15. Maybe the best run of the night for Gray. And they put it just inside the 15-yard line of the Wildcats. Texas is going to huddle here. They've changed tempo quite a bit tonight. But in this case, they're down in the red zone and they want to take advantage.
Well, and again, they've struggled in the red zone. Now they got a funky formation. This is an offensive lineman here.
They throw to the end zone. Shipley's got it. Touchdown, Texas. Wasn't sure that pass was going to get there in time. Shipley waiting on it in the end zone. And the Longhorns have the lead.
See, what they did was they put the tackle out here. So they were trying to hope that Kansas State wouldn't realize that was a tight end and they wouldn't cover him. But they covered him, but they left Shipley open. And a nice job by McCoy getting the ball to Shipley.
Extra point is good. 7-play drive covers 72 yards. And you see Case McCoy with the fist pump. Right between two defenders. Shipley waiting on it, gathering it in, and Texas in front. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 from Manhattan, Kansas, as the 18th-ranked Texas Longhorns take on the number 6 Wildcats of Kansas State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action.
Right now for Case McCoy, Brad, you got to think, take care of the football. You're right in position. You're right where you want to be in this football game. Don't do something that incites the crowd or this team.
Jonathan Gray got across the 20 to the 21. You saw that graphic, 13 straight completions for Case, and he's chasing his big brother's record of 18. And Gray comes up limping, and that's not good news for Texas. Their leading rusher.
Well, the only benefit is that you do have Malcolm Brown back this week, and he's been gone for 5 weeks, so you have a little depth that you haven't had.
They fake it to him. McCoy on the bootleg. There's 14 in a row, and got it to Brown, and Brown got a first down at the 30.
You know, it's worth mentioning also that Jeremy Hills is not here, a senior running back who injured his leg late in the TCU game, and his value was on third down. He was their key third down back, pass protection, very involved in the screen game. He's unable to play tonight.
There he is, number 5, and in his honor, Mike Davis, the leading wide receiver for Texas, is wearing number 5, knowing that Hills won't make the field, but he will be on the field. There's Mike, himself a junior wide receiver. Here's the end around. A flip to Johnson. It worked going the other way. It works coming this way. Not for 70 yards, but for a first down at the 45-yard line.
See, again, it's the speed. I mean, Texas has speed. Whether it's Mike Davis, whether it's Najee Johnson, Marquise Goodwin, who's not been able to play tonight, they've got athletes, they've got speed, and if you get them out on the perimeter with a full head of steam behind them, they can make big plays. Jonathan Gray comes back in, so he's all right. First down, Longhorns, their own 44-yard line, leading by 3 as we're approaching 3 minutes in the half. Not going to get the playoff. Nope. They either call timeout from the sideline.
Second charge in the first half.
They're down to 1 timeout. Matt called one earlier in this quarter. But with 3:35 remaining in the half, we'll take a timeout with them. Longhorns up 10-7. Back in Manhattan, where Texas has it 1st and 10 at its own 44-yard line. Gray behind McCoy will get the carry. He's had a hard time finding some running room. Arthur Brown, the captain of the defense, made the stop. A couple of minutes ago, before the commercial, we asked you the Aflac trivia question. 23 opponents at least 10 times in program history and losing records against 3 teams. You might guess Kansas State's won because they've won 4 straight in the series. Notre Dame playing for the national championship. And Vanderbilt is the other.
Yeah, that's the tricky one.
That's a tricky one.
The one he wouldn't have got.
Vandy's had a great year, though, and they're bowl bound. Second down and 9. McCoy, the throw, nice one, complete, first down. Caleb Jones, freshman wideout, and the drive continues. Not a lot of Texas fans here tonight, but they're enjoying what they're seeing right now.
You know, and the fans in purple are pretty quiet because the efficiency of the Texas offense right now.
McCoy, plenty of time, and now throws short to Brown, and Brown is going to be close to another first down.
What Texas has started to be able to do in this ball game is win on first down. They're averaging over 9 yards a play on first down right now, and that is proving big dividends. It's keeping them out of third down situations, and they're moving the chains.
Kansas State trying to change up personnel defensively. Here's a counter to Brown. Woo. Met head on by Childs, the linebacker, and he didn't get the first down. He barely got back to the original line of scrimmage. Terrell Childs, a senior, one of the 27 out of Kansas City, stood him up, and it's third down and a yard.
Well, you might be in two-down territory here if you don't get it if you're Texas. Pretty long for a field goal.
Joe Bergeron sort of been the short yardage guy for Texas. He's in there right now. But it's going to be McCoy, and he's not going to get there either. He lost another half yard. So fourth down. And more than one.
Colt McCoy's just a little light in the britches to be getting that one. He didn't hit it up in there too hard, and good surge up front from Kansas State, particularly Sua Latui on the inside.
As you said, though, four-down territory. So fourth down and one. Bergeron in there, so is a fullback. Robertson. Will they run or throw on fourth down and a long yard? They're going to give him a shot, and he got it. Nice run by Bergeron. He's been their short yardage guy. As we mentioned, he's got 16 touchdowns on the year, and a lot of those were in short yardage situations. This time, not a touchdown, but a big, big first down.
He's got enough speed to make plays on the perimeter also, but he's got a big physical body. He likes to lower that shoulder. Did a nice job of running with leverage there at 230 pounds.
Clock stop with 31 seconds remaining.
Timeout, Texas. Third and final of the first half.
Texas takes its last time out. They want to get at least 3 out of this deal, but they got a long ways to go. They're still at the 31-yard line, and that'll be a long, long kick. Well, we remind you, coverage of Monday Night Football starts 6:30 Monday night with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. And then at 8:30, longtime NFC East rivals get together, the Giants and the Redskins. Eli and RG3, Monday Night Football, New York versus Washington, 8:30 on ESPN. There's the numbers on those two guys in a sensational rookie season for the former Heisman Trophy winner out of Baylor. And Eli's Eli. And the NFC East is far from decided, so that's a big football game on Monday night.
Well, we saw the guy that has succeeded RG3 at Baylor, Nick Florence, has now led his team to 3 consecutive wins to get the Bears bowl eligible. Well, he had an outstanding year, too, as a senior, 1 year as the starting quarterback.
Now Texas out of timeouts. They started at their own 19-yard line. This is a 10th play of the Longhorns drive. Case McCoy throws to the outside, complete, tiptoeing out of bounds is Davis. Don't forget Capital One halftime report. John and Jesse will be along with all the day's highlights and scores coming up in 32 seconds.
Well, I have really been impressed with McCoy. I mean, not only his accuracy and his feel for the game, but how he came back after the interception also.
The next pass ties his brother Colt for most consecutive passes completed by a Longhorn. Let's see if he gets it. Pump fakes, and he goes deep. And there's the first incompletion that stops him, and Colt's going, yeah, I didn't want him to get that anyway. So it's going to bring up third down.
Well, I think they need one more completion here. You know, they've got time. They've got 27 seconds. I still think they're a little bit outside of the field goal comfort range.
They've got time to go down the middle. The clock would stop if they get a first down and then spike it.
Shipley is usually the go-to guy in a situation like this.
3rd and 3. McCoy dancing around, don't want to take a sack, and he throws it all the way over to the first row.
Yep, there's the penalty.
Flags flying.
He wanted to throw the ball to Shipley. I mean, he was looking there, Shipley on the quick out, and it was well covered.
Intentional grounding on the offense, number 6. Never left the tackle box. Loss of down, spotted pass. 4th down.
So 4th down, and now what was going to be an easier field goal attempt is not going to be.
Yeah.
By rule, Texas has no timeouts left in the first half. That foul requires a 10-second runoff.
So we're going to be down to 11 seconds.
Kansas State has elected to run 10 seconds. Please set the game clock at 11 seconds.
But the field goal unit's got a chance to come out. We told you, Nick Jordan, his longest this year is 38 yards. And this one's going to be considerably longer than that. It's going to be around 51. So, season long, but a chance for 3 more for Jordan.
And make sure you get this ball kicked high enough.
And it's a fake. Throwing deep down the middle and incomplete. So they didn't think they had enough leg there. Try to trick play to just see if maybe they could get something down the field. And it's incomplete. And no more points for Texas with 6 seconds remaining.
Pretty good discipline by Kansas State. They came with a rush, but they still weren't fooled down the field. Cedric Reed was the intended receiver.
Well, really no further harm done.
Yep.
As Colin Klein will take a knee here. The first half comes to a close. Texas, though, on the road, leading at halftime.
This is Dr. Pepper Championship Week.
Definitely looking forward to, our last home game in front of our support base.
We're just looking to go in there and kind of create our own energy because we know we probably won't have a whole lot from the fans.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, obviously with, Big 12 championship implications.
He's going to throw, though. The out is intercepted.
I think it'd be a great improvement from last year and just show that Texas didn't give up after some tough losses, and we're going to keep going.
They throw to the end zone. Shipley's got it. Touchdown, Texas. And we welcome you back to Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8. Heading into the second half. Third quarter just about set to begin. Texas trying to remain perfect on the road. More importantly, trying to upset Kansas State and spoil their BCS aspirations. Brad Nessler with Todd Blackledge. Holly will join us in a second. As you look at those stats over my right shoulder right now, sense of urgency's got to come to play for Kansas State right now because Texas is playing really well.
Texas is playing very well. We talked about both these teams had very disappointing losses their last time out and kind of derailed what some of their plans were. And I think right now what we saw in the first half, Texas bounced back better than Kansas State did. But the good news for Kansas State, the third quarter has been their best quarter all year. They've outscored their opponents 122-52, and they get the ball to start this third quarter.
So Rose has got it teed up. And again, a guy that'd like to get a little bit of room to work. Tyler Lockett back waiting at the goal line. They kicked it out of bounds last time, trying to keep it out of his hands. This time a much deeper kick, and he hesitates and then takes a knee. As we take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, Colin Klein trying to bounce back from a poor performance in Waco a couple of weeks ago. And he's done a nice job getting it to Harper. Case McCoy, meanwhile, he's hooked up with Shipley on some big plays, including the touchdown in between two defenders that has given Texas the 3-point lead they have right now.
Again, I think the difference in the first half, Texas was the more physical football team. They controlled the action at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball better than Kansas State did, and that's the response I want to see what Kansas State has from a physical standpoint in the third quarter.
Terrell Miller in motion on first down from the 25. Here's a counter to Hubert. Big hold. Hubert, the cutback run. He's got 15, 20, 25, almost 30 yards on the first snap of the third quarter.
Well, I told you, follow 37 and also follow 77. That's where this is going. Counter play. They pull the guard. They pull the fullback. They seal the perimeter. And that's one of the few breakdowns we've seen in the Texas run defense in this ball game. But a great start for the Wildcats.
28-yard pickup to the 47-yard line. And now Braden Wilson, the fullback, is in there, flanking Colin Klein on a 1st and 10 for Kansas State. Opening moments of the third quarter. Now he sets up in a pistol formation behind Klein. And on the option, Klein will keep it. Ooh, and he took a shot. Vaccaro was there, as was Michael Thompson.
Kenny Vaccaro is really an excellent football player. I mean, over the last 7 games, he's averaged 9 tackles a game. He loves the contact. He comes up from his safety position. Colin Klein thinks he's going to turn in and have an alley to run in. And that alley was closed quickly by Vaccaro.
Vaccaro in on 5 tackles tonight. He had 11 last week against TCU. So a pickup of 3. It's 2nd down and 7. John Hubert back in there. And timeout. Ooh, boy, that's something you don't want to have to take a minute and a half into the game. But some confusion out there, and Klein will call a timeout. 10-7, Texas leading Kansas State as we check in with Holly.
Kansas State Bill Snyder told me at the half what they have to do to improve their rushing offense. He said we've got to get to the edge more, and we've already seen them do it, rushing Colin Klein on that option. They've already doubled their yardage here in the second half with just this one drive. And I also caught a glimpse inside the locker room to see the mood of the players. They were jumping, screaming, and said, it's everything. Leave everything on the field.
It is for the next 2 quarters. BCS berth on the line. Right now, the number 6 team in the country, trailing number 18 by 3. Klein throws wide open. Tannehill's got it down inside the 15-yard line. I'd say that was a good timeout.
What a beautiful play call. They show run. Tannehill's going to slip back because Klein is going to show it like he's running, and that brings the linebackers up. They have to honor that fake. Tannehill slips behind him. A beautifully designed and executed play off the run fake.
All Colin has to do there is make sure he doesn't cross the line of scrimmage before he lets it go, and it was beautifully done. And now they're in the red zone. Longest pass by Klein tonight, a 29-yarder. Now he'll keep it on the zone read, and he got inside the 10 and down to the 5.
Well, and just like Holly said, trying to get him to the perimeter. 2 Klein runs. The first run of the half was a Hubert run on the counter. They seal the edge and they get him out here where he can go one-on-one. And I think one of the things that makes that important is I think Kansas State's wide receivers block downfield as well as anybody I've seen this season in college football. That's what makes perimeter runs effective.
36 rushing touchdowns and goal-to-go situations. And it's 1st and goal right now at the 5. He waits for his blockers, takes it outside, and now trying to cut back inside, and Texas waiting on it. Brandon Moore does a nice job to stay home from his defensive tackle spot, made the tackle.
Well, they kept the edge of the defense intact. And what that means is you don't lose outside leverage and allow Colin Klein to get outside to the perimeter. You force him to continue to move it back inside where there's extra help and extra defenders. That was well defended.
Actually lost a yard. 2nd and goal at the 6. John Hubert behind him. 3 receivers for Klein here.
Might look for Harper on the slant. He's up here. If he has single coverage without a safety coming over the top, might try to work the slant.
Got to hurry to get the play off. Klein straight ahead. Got it to the 2. Steve Edmond, the little linebacker, in on another tackle.
This linebacker position has really been pounded this year. They lost their leader inside early. Marco Cobbs, they lost last week or in their last game. I mean, they have played a lot of young guys in a very difficult position.
3rd down and goal. fullback. He's going to get the pitch with the fullback in front. He coasts in. Touchdown, Kansas State.
Well, Kenny Vaccaro got a nice hit on Colin Klein again, but not before Colin Klein made the perfect pitch to Hubert. When you run the option, you're exposed and vulnerable as a quarterback, but you still got to make that quality pitch. And that was beautifully done.
75-yard drive for the touchdown. We've got an injured player in the end zone for the Longhorns. So Hubert, his 13th rushing touchdown of the year. Guy that's down is Peter Jenkins, the freshman outside linebacker for Texas, who's played very, very well so far tonight. Let's take another look at the touchdown, Todd.
Kenny Vaccaro is going to be lined up on the outside right here in a sprinter stance, and his job is the quarterback, and he's hoping he can hit Colin Klein right here before he can make the pitch. But Colin Klein is ready to make the quick pitch. Hubert has a lead blocker out in front of him in Braden Wilson, and Kansas State with a nice drive to start the third quarter.
Jenkins is up, going off under his own power.
We've seen Kansas State in this drive attack the perimeter of the Texas defense on about 5 different plays.
Anthony Cantelli, one of the seniors, playing his final game tonight for Kansas State, out for the point after. So the Wildcats open up the third quarter in style, and at 4 minutes and 1 second take the lead. Back from Texas, 14-10, capping a 75-yard drive. John Hubert for the Wildcat touchdown.
The 2013 Rose Bowl game, January 1st on ESPN.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by the new 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Go to Ford.com/Ultimate Combo for a chance to win the best combo out there. Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life. The power to help you succeed. And UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Well, that last touchdown got the crowd rocking, as Kansas State's got the lead back at home, 14-10. Cantelli to kick. Monroe and Thomas back deep for Texas. Monroe from the 1. Got a little crease, and flags fly in. Probably going to negate a nice return with an illegal block. Scott Novak, our referee.
During the return, holding receiving team number 31. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that's going to make Mac Brown's team have to start in a bit of a hole. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Chris Berman and the gang have all the latest news and updates from stadiums around the league on Sunday NFL Countdown. Then before you set your lineups, catch Fantasy Football now at 11 on ESPN2. Our experts provide the latest news, injury reports, and predict the top fantasy performers. Well, the stadium was kind of quiet earlier, as Todd was talking about. And now it's rocking with Texas having to work from its own 10-yard line. The pitch to Jonathan Gray. Nothing doing. Childs in on the stop, but it'll be second down and 10.
Well, again, Case McCoy has played beautifully so far in this ball game. Now the first possession of the third quarter, he was hot, he was accurate, he had the interception early, he bounced back. He's got to take care of the football this whole second half, because this Kansas State team has made a living off of turnovers and leading to points off of turnovers. That's been a big part of their success all year.
McCoy looks left, comes back on the screen in the middle, and it's Gray. And he's all the way out to the 40-yard line. Good looking play. A nice job by McCoy looking left, coming back to the right.
I just like his feel for the game. I mean, Gray's going to slip out. He looks left. He looks left. He allows that rush to come. Nice, accurate pass for Gray to catch. Not worry about making a difficult catch, and then get behind those blockers on the screen.
A 30-yard pickup. Excuse me, Todd. First down at the 40. Malcolm Brown in there to give Gray a breather. Those two have been alternating at tailback. And at Brown, and now end around to Jones. Has one blocker in front, cuts back to the middle of the field, and he's got 10, maybe 11.
Good decision. He was going to throw this football. I mean, he obviously is a left-handed thrower because they ran to reverse with him coming back to the left. And watch him gear up like he's going to throw the football, and wisely made a decision to not.
And the officials whistle play to a stop here. I don't see a flag.
The offensive team substituted. Defense was not given an opportunity to match up. We will replay first down.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Play clock at 25 seconds.
You've got to give the defense an opportunity to get their guys out there. And Texas was going so fast, and it was in the end of our replay.
Yeah. If you don't substitute, you can go as fast as you want. But if you substitute, you have to give the defense time to match that substitution.
And Justin Tuggle's the last guy that runs off the field for the Wildcats. First down, Texas, right at midfield. And again, the end around on the sweep. And on the way, DJ Monroe inside the 10-yard line all the way to the 4.
DJ Monroe, another one of those guys on this team with great speed. They only have a certain number of plays that they use Monroe to run. And it's usually a reverse or a speed sweep like this. Now the corner, Chapman actually did his job to turn it inside. There was just no help on the inside.
Big run by Monroe. 46 yards down to the 4. First and goal, Texas. Malcolm Brown is the tailback. Daniels, the tight end, in motion. And it's Brown. I think he got a yard maybe with forward progress.
In the loss to TCU, Texas was 1 for 4 scoring touchdowns in the red zone. They're doing better tonight. Another opportunity. You heard Mac Brown at halftime tell Holly, we gave away an opportunity to score some points. You can't do that. When you're the underdog, which Texas rarely is, you got to take advantage of these kind of opportunities.
They shift an extra lineman and a tight end to the right. Second and goal at the 3. That's where they run. And down to the 1 goes Brown. We check in with Holly.
Well, guys, an injury update for Texas. Joe Bergeron, who's the running back that normally used in this kind of situation to batter it in, is out for the game with a shoulder injury. Remember, he had 16 touchdowns coming in. They'll miss him right now in this trip to the red zone.
They sure will. They're down a goal. Inside the 2. Extra lineman again is Pellman.
I think you got to go some kind of a bootleg and give Case McCoy an opportunity to get on the perimeter and make a run-throw decision.
Brown, touchdown. Goes in standing up. Got a nice lead block on that right side by Pellman and the tight end Matthews. And he goes in standing up. A 90-yard drive in 7 plays. Wow. Texas really needed that one. Wanted to answer Kansas State, and that's the way to answer. Extra point is good. Well, Texas covered a lot of ground in 3.5 minutes. Most of it, DJ Monroe, 46 yards down to the 4. And then from 2 yards out, Malcolm Brown puts both hands around that football and goes in, and Mac Brown says, we're back in front. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 from Manhattan, Kansas, as the 18th ranked Texas Longhorns take on the number 6 Wildcats of Kansas State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action. There's the season numbers, 846 after having 1141 last year on the ground. Wildcats 4 out of 8 on their third down conversions tonight. Third down and 3 here. And a play fake. Klein wants to throw and does. And it's a strike to the 15 to Tyler Lockett. And boy, running to his left, he put that one right on the money.
When you throw moving to your left, it's essential that you get your shoulders square to the target. He does that. He gets his shoulders all the way around and makes an accurate throw on the bench route to Lockett.
First and 10 at the 15.
The thing that's even more impressive about that, Brad, is he just ran about 3 plays in a row. So you know there's some fatigue, but he still had good mechanics on that big third down throw.
On first down, Miller in motion. And here's a counter. Hubert goes down for a loss. Nice play by Tevin Jackson, the linebacker. Jackson and Jenkins over on that linebacker position have both played well tonight.
And the key for your linebackers against this run offense of Kansas State, because it's different than most other teams in the Big 12, you have to be real solid on your run fits. You can't get out of a gap or miss an assignment, or else it's a big play.
Second down and 11 now at the 16 as we're under 3 minutes in the third. Klein on the option. We'll keep it. Got to the 10 or very close. Jenkins, the other linebacker I just talked about, make the stop. Third down coming up again. It'll be a 3rd and 5 upcoming.
3rd and 5 or 6 in this part of the field. Colin Klein is always a threat to run. Now, when they've gotten in this pistol set, for the most part, it's been an option run tonight.
They got the fullback over on a wing on the left side. And 3 wide receivers. Hubert comes up and now gets on Klein's right hip. And he's the lead man again. And Klein's got it, 1st and goal at the 4.
See, I think that started out to be an option. They changed the play from the line of scrimmage. He moved the back, and now it's a lead draw with the back leading the way for the quarterback. Nice block by Hubert, squared up on the linebacker, and Colin Klein not afraid to stick his nose in there and get the first down.
The 10th play of the drive again, and 1st and goal at the 4. Ball might never leave his hands again on this drive. Who knows? Not going to hear. And he takes a couple of tacklers with him inside the 3. Remember, he scored earlier tonight, his 21st rushing touchdown. He's breathing pretty heavy right now. Let's see if that means somebody else handles the ball or not. They got everybody in tight here. Extra tight end.
Look how deep Hubert is also. Way back here. That close to the goal line.
They're going to toss it to him. Hubert, he's in. Touchdown. He might have been deep, but he could certainly see where he was heading. In a seesaw battle, Kansas State's back in front. And now they can make it a game where Texas needs a touchdown with the extra point, trying to give them a 4-point lead. And flags fly.
Well, what a difference in the Kansas State.
Offside. Defense number 97. Jumped in the neutral zone, caused the offense to react. half the distance of the goal. Replay the try.
Yeah, they are going to move it half the distance to the goal. I think Bill Snyder's kind of saying we don't want to get any closer. It takes away the angle for the kicker and makes it kind of too much of a chip shot.
Yardage has been declined.
Okay, they did decline it. That makes more sense. You don't want to mess up an extra point at this stage with 47 seconds left in the most important game of the season. Cantelli, and I think Texas jumped again. I'm not sure if they stopped the play. The extra point was good.
Offside. Defense number 92. Penalties decline.
Extra point is good. That makes it 21-17. So a 67-yard drive and 11 plays. A lot of it Colin Klein, but at the end, John Hubert. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8 from Manhattan, Kansas, as the 18th ranked Texas Longhorns take on the number 6 Wildcats of Kansas State. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to further action.
College football in high definition is presented by Vizio.
Our aerial coverage is provided by MetLife's blimp. See how MetLife can provide the coverage you need. MetLife, I can do this. And this place just erupted to start the third quarter because Texas has third down and a mile to open up quarter number 4.
Well, Texas is right where they want to be in the game, but I don't think they can afford another turnover. I think this is a good call.
And Gray, not only a good call, but he got it out across the 21-yard line, and that gives the punter an opportunity to try to change the field a little bit.
Now he's going to have to be very careful with this kick. He does not want to kick this to the middle of the field. Alex King, the punter, wants to try to angle this towards the numbers on either side and keep it out of the middle of the field where it would be easily to return.
Jermaine Thompson, the deepest return man. And he's going to run up on this and take it at the 37. Reverses his field. Texas got a hit on him but didn't get him down. Thompson, they finally do land him at the 45-yard line, but it could have been worse.
It was a perfect punt by Alex King. He put it right on the numbers where he needed to. They had him pinned into one side, but they couldn't get him on the ground and allowed him to reverse his field all the way to the other side.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. With Kansas State in front, Colin Klein 202 total yards, including a rushing touchdown. Case McCoy's played very well tonight. But much like last year, Texas has the advantage in yardage, but they're short on the scoreboard right now. 21-17 with 14-14 remaining. Play action. Klein loads. Deep ball. Got a man there. Got him. Lockett. Touchdown. A 55-yard touchdown pass. Klein to Lockett.
Brad, that is all because of their ability to run the football in the third quarter. They only had 42 yards rushing in the first half. They had 85 in the third quarter, and that set up the first down play action for a touchdown.
Extra point is good. Kansas State 14 minutes away from a BCS berth. And their Heisman Trophy candidate with his biggest play of the night, going long. And 55 yards later, Tyler Lockett, touchdown, Wildcats.
That's right. We got awards to hand out, and we got the biggest stars in college football here.
Palmer and Pollock recap the season's highlights as the top players walk the red carpet before the Home Depot Awards Show. The College Football Awards special begins at 5:30 Thursday on ESPNU.
They're down and they're not in field goal range right now, so it might be two-down territory potentially for Brian Harsin and the offense.
I don't know what Kansas Kansas State has done with Mike Davis tonight, but he's been a non-factor. He's at the bottom of the screen, the Longhorn wide receiver who came in as their leading receiver. And now flags are down, and Mueller drops McCoy again, and that's going to cause some of the offensive linemen to take note.
You know what happened? The line judge threw his flag because there was movement by the left tackle, and then he wanted to call penalty on the roughing the quarterback, and he didn't have a flag, so he threw his hat.
There's fouls against both teams on the play. False start on the offense, number 51. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on a defense, number 44. Unenforced both fouls. First down.
So here's the movement. This is the first penalty. Got a little head start on his drop step. And then the second penalty, the play's dead. It's over. A little bit of an acting job by Case McCoy.
And interesting, you don't see this very often. Both penalties were walked off. 5 yards that way, 15 that way. First down, Texas.
Texas definitely the beneficiary there.
Yep.
Because it was a third down situation. That's 2 penalties on this drive, both by Mueller. The only 2 penalties of the game for Kansas State.
So first down at the 27 for the Longhorns. They fake the fly sweep, go straight ahead with a run, and it's a good one by Malcolm Brown as he got 7. Let's take a look at tonight's UPS efficiency update. Case McCoy, pretty good night. 20 out of 23, hit 17 in a row, one shy of his brother Colt's Texas record. And he wants to keep this drive alive. Texas needs a touchdown. And they would probably go for 2 if they get one, but that's still 20 yards away. McCoy wants to throw a screen back the other way and does. Malcolm Brown cut down, but he got a first down around the 17-yard line.
You know, the thing that Case McCoy has done really well tonight is not force anything. I mean, he has taken some throws downfield when they've been there. He's made some tough throws on third down, but he's taken the easy throws too, and that's why he's completed such a high number of passes tonight.
Meshach Williams is back in there, by the way, and he's kind of winding up that arm. Probably a stinger maybe, but he wants to be out there trying to stop this Texas drive. First down just inside the 17. Another end around drop ball. Kansas State has got it, I think. Nigel Malone.
Well, you know what? Somebody came in there late at the end of the play and knocked the ball away from Malone. Marquise Goodwin, who had a thumb injury, never handles this cleanly. Now Malone's going to have the ball, and late at the end, there's the hit, and the ball was taken. Goodwin actually took the ball away. So that's a pretty heads-up play by Goodwin. After he bobbled the handoff, he gets on the football and saves the drive.
Huge loss, though. Second down at 21. Empty backfield for McCoy. Looking right all the way. Great form tackle on DeJay Johnson by Randall Evans. And again, the time the way it is, it's going to be under 10 minutes, even though it's third down and a whole bunch. Will Mack be thinking field goal or 2-down territory here? A field goal gets him within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, you got to score twice. So I think at this point, you call a safe play here and know you want to score at least 3.
Remember, they don't have exactly a long-range field goal kicker, though. 3rd and 16. They're going to throw a slip screen, tried to get it to Davis, and Mueller, who's had all kinds of trouble, excuse me, on this drive, knocks it down. It's Mike Davis again. Doesn't have his name on his jersey because he's wearing number 5 instead of number 1 tonight. So here's your field goal kicker. A 40-yard attempt. 38's the best he's done this year. Had one from 37 earlier. Nick Jordan, big kick. They have to have it, and they didn't get it. There's the problem. chance to make it a one possession game. And that attempt goes wide right. Big game in the NFC East on Monday Night Football. Starts off with Monday Night Countdown, served up by Applebee's at 6:30. Then it's Eli and the Giants and RG3 and the Redskins at 8:30 on ESPN Monday night. Here, Kansas State is 9.5 minutes away from a BCS berth. There's the numbers on the Giants and Redskins. And here it's Colin Klein and company taking over with 9.5 minutes to go after the missed field goal. And he faked a throw and then did throw. That's over the line of scrimmage, but he's out of bounds.
Yeah, there's the penalty for being over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was 4 yards almost over the line of scrimmage when he threw that one.
Legal forward pass on the offense, number 7. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the pass. Lost it down. Second down.
They've had a little success with this. They did it over the middle for a big play, and this is the second time they tried to throw it outside after the option. Just Colin got a little greedy on that one. Just take the 3-yard gain and play second down.
If he would have thrown it when he first pump faked it, it would have been maybe okay. But after he pulled it down, no such luck. Texas, a missed field goal and a punt to go with their touchdown. 3 touchdowns for Kansas State in the second half. That's why they've got an 11-point lead. In control right now. Klein is rushed for 73 yards and a touchdown, thrown for a 184 and a score. And here he keeps it and loses a yard. The touchdown early in the game, Ledge, we talked about, his 21st rushing touchdown of the year. And he's also thrown a touchdown, and he's the first quarterback with multiple seasons of 10 or more touchdown passes and 20 or more touchdowns rushing. That's incredible.
It really is. I mean, you stop and think about it, and there were only 3 guys that had ever done it in 1 year, and all 3 of those guys won the Heisman Trophy. Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, and Eric Crouch.
2 weeks ago, this guy was definitely the leader heading into the clubhouse in the Heisman balloting. And since then, one bad game against Baylor 2 weeks ago. And from that point on, Johnny Manziel became the hot name.
Timeout, Kansas State.
The timeout in there before the clock expired. Take a look at what Colin's done tonight. The leader, undisputed leader of this Kansas State team. Senior night, one of 27 seniors here playing their final game. Then he goes to work. This was the long touchdown pass to Lockett, 55-yarder. That along with the 1-yard touchdown run after the interception early in the game.
Well, they're going backwards on this drive, but he's been going forward all year. I mean, he's averaged over 300 yards a game total offense and has accounted for almost 68% of his team's offense every game this year.
That's huge. When you start to think about where Kansas State would be without him, you really wonder if they would be 10-1 heading toward 11-1. Manti Te'o, I think you can say the same thing for the Notre Dame linebacker. I got a feeling they'd have lost a couple of games somewhere without him. There's Klein. They're using up some clock right now, at least.
They're using up clock, but that was probably the worst offensive possession that they've had tonight. And credit Texas. I mean, they are still in this ball game. They missed the field goal that could have made it a 1-score game, but they stand to get good field position to start this offensive possession after the punt.
Okafor might not have been in very often tonight, but he's made a difference on a couple of plays. Texas came after the kick again. And the ball is out. Muff punt at the end. Still loose. And it's Kansas State, I think, at the very end, but let's see. No signal yet. Wildcat ball.
Mack Brown against Bill Snyder is 2-4. And in those 6 games, Texas Texas had 20 turnovers compared to only 6 for Kansas State. That's their second turnover tonight against 1 for Kansas State. A very telling statistic in any football game, but particularly when these two teams have played.
I think it was Drew Little who finally got his body around that ball and held on for dear life. And now Kansas State's got it at the Texas 39. Back to Hubert, who's got a couple of touchdown runs tonight. Stood up by Desmond Jackson after a pickup of 3 as we check in with Holly.
Well, guys, you saw how difficult it was to come up with that loose football on that last play. You can see hanging over the stadium, there's this very unique mist. It's like a little foggy, misty. It's making everything out here wet, like the benches on the equipment truck. Everything is a little wet to the touch, and it looks like it's affecting the field and the football as well.
Kansas State second down at 7. Time's becoming a big-time factor if you're a Longhorn fan. Trailing by 11 points. Again, that's Terrell Miller in motion. They'll just keep it on the ground here to Hubert. Does a little dance. Gets a first down. Vaccaro made another tackle, but not before John Hubert gets a first down.
Hubert's got some fresh legs. Hasn't had to carry it a lot tonight. Nice job stutter stepping in the hole and cutting it back inside for the first down.
And we work our way under 7 minutes to go. "58 yards on 10 carries for Hubert, including 2 big touchdowns. At the 28-yard line. Here's a little counter. Hubert again pops through, but Vaccaro made another tackle. Vaccaro double digits in tackles right now. Sunday on ABC in the Hamptons, a season full of betrayals, takedowns, and revelations. All leads to one jaw-dropping moment. ABC's addictive hit drama has never been better. The winter finale of Revenge, Sunday at 9, 8 Central on ABC. Brad Nessler, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe. We got 6 minutes remaining in Manhattan, 6 minutes away for the Wildcats going to the Fiesta Bowl.
Brad, Texas is really starting to gamble now. They got everybody around the line of scrimmage. Kenny Vaccaro, the safety's coming up fast.
They still can't control Hubert from getting 2 or 3 yards. Diggs ran him out of bounds.
I'm not sure Kansas State will throw, but even if they don't, the way Texas is playing up close to the line of scrimmage, if you break a run through the first level of defense, you might break it all the way to the end zone.
Here's what the fans are spelling out. They don't have enough bodies over there for Tostitos, but they got the Fiesta thing down. 3rd down and a long 5.
Now, if they get man-to-man coverage, they like slants outside to Harper, the big inside receiver.
Everybody up on top. Texas looks a little confused on guarding those guys. Now they get in position, and it's Klein taken off the other way. Colin Klein out of bounds, 1st and goal.
Well, again, you're up close to the line of scrimmage. You're committing. Colin Klein's just going to take off on this. A design quarterback draw. He's got Hubert as a lead blocker. And that was just a big hole that opened up on the right side. Easy run for Klein.
And now he's got those kind of numbers we saw earlier in the year, Todd. 21 carries, 92 yards, and a touchdown.
I think that week off did him as much good as anybody.
Now they're down close, where it's usually his time to carry. Just outside the 5-yard line. And he will. Backpedals inside the 3.
Well, you want to score. You want to use as much clock as you can. You score here, you're pretty much going to seal this one and keep working the clock.
And got a timeout with a man down, Tevin Jackson. And Klein will come over to talk things over on the sideline.
Impressed with how Colin Klein and how Kansas State as a team has responded in the second half. Was not a real productive first half. They only ran 25 plays in the first half. Didn't have much of a running game to speak of. And they came out here in the third quarter and established their running game, and in the second half took control of the football game.
And again, Tevin Jackson, the sophomore linebacker out of Garland, Texas, the man down for the Longhorns. He's had a good game along with Peter Jenkins sharing that outside linebacker spot.
Texas is a young football team, Brad. I mean, they're going to be good. They only have 9 scholarship seniors as compared to 27 on the Kansas State team seniors. They played more true freshmen. They and TCU were tied for playing the most this year with 16. A lot of underclassmen. Mac Brown's got a talented young football team.
There's the other teams in the top 5 as far as using freshmen. LSU, Ohio State, and Maryland. So now Kansas State huddled on the sideline as a team. And as they come out, it's 2nd down and goal. At the 3-yard line, just inside the 3.
Last time they got in this deep formation with Hubert, it was a toss to the right side, running right behind Brayton Wilson.
Jalen Klein looking on as her husband will take the snap here on 2nd down and goal. They move the tight end. And there's the same toss that Todd's talking about, and not quite the same results. Got to the 2-foot line, maybe. Kendall Thompson stood him up. Longhorns are not giving in without a fight. It's just inside the 1-yard line. And now this really may be number 7's time. Klein will come up under center. Let's see if anybody else even touches it other than him. They will. Same toss. And Hubert walks in. Touchdown. Wildcats. Hubert's 3rd touchdown of the night. And now just a matter of time before the Wildcats know that they're Big 12 champions and going to the Fiesta Bowl.
Ran the same play, Brad. I mean, they just came right back with it on the next down and said, you know what, we didn't get it in that time. Let's execute a little crisper, and we'll get it in on the 3rd down. And they did.
And the chants in the crowd here are "We own Texas," because they're on their way to their 5th straight win over the Longhorns. 3:11 remaining in the ball game. Hubert from a yard out. And the quarterback's wife, Shaylin, says, that's what I'm talking about.
Tomorrow on ESPNU, Peach State rivals and the 5th-ranked Cardinals highlight a Tuesday twin bill. At 7, sophomore guard Kentavious Caldwell-Pope leads Georgia's perimeter attack against junior big man Cam Hosey and Georgia Tech. Then at 9,
Siva down the lane and overtime. Peyton Siva.
Preseason All-American floor general Peyton Siva directs number 5 Louisville against the College of Charleston. The Tuesday twin bill tips off tomorrow at 7 on ESPNU, the home court of college hoops.
Aerial coverage provided by the MetLife blimp. See how MetLife can provide the coverage you need. MetLife, I can do this. Todd can do telestrations as well.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Now watch the block of these two guys. Wilson's going to come and get a block on the edge. They're going to pull Stuyvesant, the guard, and he gets a block. 2 physical pounding blocks right at the point of attack, and Hubert walks into the end zone. Same play 2 times in a row. The second time it worked to perfection.
Hubert with those 3 rushing touchdowns, 15 on the year for him. DJ Monroe drops it at the 5, picks it up and goes down at the 9. Roman Fields on the special teams. Well, Sunday night, tomorrow night, 8:30 on ESPN. Unveil the matchups to all the BCS Bowls for you. the Rose Bowl, Discover Orange Bowl, Allstate Sugar Bowl, Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and the Discover BCS National Championship game, Discover Card BCS Selection Show. We know now that Alabama will beat Notre Dame. Alabama and Notre Dame getting together for the national championship. Kansas State, right now they're 3 minutes and 6 seconds away from their BCS berth. McCoy, nice throw to Bryant Jackson, and Jackson's all the way across the 40-yard line. Case McCoy is going to have some incredible numbers when this game's over, but it's going to be in a losing effort.
He has really thrown the ball extremely well.
This one's going the other way for a touchdown, maybe. McCoy knocks down Chapman, or he would have scored.
Well, we saw it early with Nigel Malone, and now we see it late with the other corner, Alan Chapman. The same kind of read. The cornerback playing zone coverage, which means instead of having his eyes on the receiver, his eyes are on the quarterback. And he read the route, he read the drop, and he made a great jump on the football. He makes a break before the receiver even gets out of his. We saw it on one side, and now we've seen it on the other side. And Kansas State is about to jump and run away with it.
Klein under center. First down at the 10-yard line. And it's Pease spinning his way for about a yard. McCoy, 2 interceptions. Returned nearly for touchdowns. He saved a touchdown with a tackle on the last one. Well, all the folks that are Sooner fans that have been cheering, ironically enough, all night long for Texas. And those cheers aren't going to matter in 2 more minutes.
Well, now the Sooner fans will be cheering for the folks at the BCS, hoping that they still get one of the at-large bids to a bowl game.
Klein will keep it. Klein will score. Touchdown. Well, that's the way you cap off your senior night and your unbelievable career here in Manhattan. You never know, he might get one. Hasn't hurt his chances tonight, let's put it that way. 2 on the ground and 1 in the air. Cantelli's extra point is good. And now the score looks much worse than what this game was, because until he hooked up with Lockett to open the 4th quarter on that 55-yarder, this one was very much in doubt.
Well, watch the block out here by Harper. He's going to have a lead blocker, but Colin Klein walks in because of Harper's block on the perimeter. I mean, he just buries his guy back to the goal line, and Colin Klein walks into the end zone. And it's a worn-out Texas defense at this point. Played much better than we saw them earlier. And really, for the month of November and this first day of December, it's a much better defense, but they're worn out at this point.
If you're just joining us, it was 21-17 at the end of the 3rd quarter. As you look at the score, you know that the Wildcats have owned the past 13 minutes, including that 55-yard touchdown right at the beginning of the 4th quarter. That led the landslide for Kansas State, and the celebration is just a couple of minutes away now. Monroe from the 6. DJ Monroe with a little avenue, and DJ Monroe down the sideline. Going to be knocked out of bounds, but not till he gets to the 23-yard line. For the 2nd time ever, Kansas State going to a BCS bowl. in a minute and 41 seconds, they can start to make their plans. Case McCoy over the middle, one-handed grab, nice grab by Malcolm Brown. Texas lines up in a hurry on second down. McCoy, quick slant, got it inside the 10. Mike Davis. It'll be first and goal Texas, but it's only going to make the score look better even if they do score. Ford wrap-up after the game. Reminder, fans can log on to Ford.com/Ultimate Combo for your chance to win a new 2013 F-150 with EcoBoost. That one knocked down by Arthur Brown, who's had another sensational game at middle linebacker for Kansas State. He's their leader back there. 9 tackles on the night and a knockdown pass that was heading to the end zone.
Now this is just such a mature football team. 27 seniors, 9 senior starters on defense, not as many on offense, but really veteran leader type guys on both sides of the ball. Klein and Brown, the two that stand out the most.
This row completes. Brown's got it in. Touchdown Texas. Nice second effort by Malcolm Brown. And as I said, the score will only look a little bit better now with 58 seconds left.
Well, really outside of 2 passes, Case McCoy has been right on the mark all night. And a nice job of running after the catch by Malcolm Brown. And good to see him back after missing 5 games with the leg injury. He's had a pretty fair night tonight.
There you saw Case over 300 yards. But those 2 miscues, very costly, as they always are. And it's 42-24. We'll have an onside kick coming up, I'm sure. So Bill Snyder, you know, what can you say? Most guys don't get the opportunity even to be a head coach. And when you get one, you very seldom can resurrect a program from, I'm talking about, really dead.
Right.
Here at Kansas State. And you almost never get the opportunity to resurrect the same program twice. He's done it twice, and congratulations to him.
Absolutely, and it's remarkable what he's done. I mean, because Kansas State, I mean, they were always one of those teams that, you know, was kind of in the bottom 10, you know, never won anything.
Team.
Yeah, and when he got a hold of them, I mean, he transformed them, he changed the culture, he changed the attitude, and I mean, they are legit now.
They are, and they're going to be heading to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And what a way to bounce back from getting their first loss a couple of weeks ago. Todd and Holly and I were there, and it was shocking how Baylor, who had not played defense very well all season long, not only played well on defense, but did what they did most of the season, and that's light up the scoreboard on offense. And that was a 52-24 beatdown a couple of weeks ago. And Kansas State, as Todd said earlier, looked a lot fresher. They didn't look groggy or heavy-legged tonight, and back home on their home turf at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, the stadium named after the guy that's still the head coach. Tonight they looked like the number 6 team, if not better, in the country. Onside kick coming up here from Nick Rose. And
now,
got a timeout.
And a lot of talk now about the Heisman. The votes are due on Monday. Johnny Manziel, Colin Klein, Manti Te'o, most people think those are the top 3. And when you compare these two, even though Johnny Manziel broke the SEC all-purpose yardage record that Cam Newton set, when you look at the difference of these two against BCS AQ teams with winning records, not only did Colin Klein play against more, but he actually was much more successful. The 2 losses for Manziel to Florida and LSU. And Colin Klein, even though he struggled 2 weeks ago at Baylor, he was back to his old self tonight. I mean, he took control of the game in the second half, running the football. Beautiful throw to Lockett for the touchdown. A little bit of mix of run and pass, but more heavy run. And the rugged, tough leadership that Colin Klein has shown his entire career as a starter really came through tonight in the second half.
He's going to be 22-5 as a starter as the kick comes back to the near side, and it's taken easily on the hop. Kansas State's got the ball. Dante Barnett handles that one. And we're down to less than a minute to go. Coming up tomorrow morning, Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman and the gang provide all the latest news and updates for stadiums around the league right up until kickoff. And then before you set your lineups, don't forget Fantasy Football Now, 11 a.m. on ESPN2. It's all tomorrow morning on ESPN and ESPN2.
Well, Coach Snyder took the headset off, so I think he is pretty confident this one's done.
And to give in the backfield. Ben Call on the carry.
I would imagine it's victory formation now. Headsets off.
And he and Mac Brown are good friends. Mac says, I text him pretty often. They're getting the Gatorade ready, which Bill will try to run away from if he gets a chance. And Mac didn't want to lose this one, but if he was going to lose one, I think as much respect as he has for Bill Snyder. Two guys have been around a long time. Bill in his 20th year, this could be his 169th win. And Mac's team's going to drop to 8-4. And here comes the purple aid. The Wildcat juice. Congratulations to Kansas State. They're going to the BCS. And they are 11-1. There's two good friends at midfield.